me introduce myself. My name is Yana Goncharova. I'm a PhD student from University of Campania Luigi Vanvitelli.
Hello everyone, my name is Olga Sheveleva. I am a second PhD student of Dubna State University. Unfortunately, two other authors cannot participate today, Iuliia Zubcova and Tatyana Savchenko. Now I would like to present our research, Mandatory Nature of Online Learning During COVID-19, Comparative Study of Experience of Free Universities. The 21st century is the age of digital technologies that cause changes in every sphere of our life. The availability of these technologies to the popular majority in the advanced world is influencing the education system. The education process is becoming more modern and online learning is more widespread. Scholastic institutions across the globe create online courses, give free access to their libraries and database, design or buy platforms to introduce online lectures, workshops, and other forms and type of activities. There are numerous definitions of the term online learning, from the most simple to those having legal effect. There are several of them in the slide. Within the context of this research, we use the next working definition, shared by many contemporary researchers. Online learning is learning experience in synchronous or asynchronous environments using different devices with internet access.
COVID-19 pandemic has become a serious challenge for global educational systems and has demonstrated the necessity to insert online platforms into all aspects of educational process. Many universities have been obliged to design, buy and adapt educational online platforms in a short time frame so that learning would not be interrupted, and teachers were forced to adapt e-learning technologies and establish new ways of communication with their students, often without sufficient instructions, training, and resources. The statistics show that almost 1.58 billion children and youth in 200 countries were affected by the pandemic, which is 94% of learners worldwide. Contemporary researchers and educationalists often notice and underline advantages of online learning driven by using multimedia technologies as the main teaching instrument. They offer wide resource opportunities, and with their rational usage, the process of education becomes more problem-solving and exploring. Online learning undoubtedly improves the teaching quality and offer to academic community new opportunities we should know how to use. For instance, close contact between students and teachers, more complex and creative approach to the process of education as the participants having access to huge repositories of teaching and learning materials, more independence for students to organize their work and manage time for studies. However, even the most full design course will not make a difference for students that are not motivated for study. Here in our research, we talk about students motivated for sound academic background and analyze objective causes that disturb this process. At the same time, there are several limitations of e-learning, such as it is not always easy to organize practical and clinical work, to get immediate feedback and to evaluate students' progress during e-learning. Sometimes, students find online lessons boring and unengaging in comparison with traditional form. And finally, students are not prepared to keep balance between their work, family, social life, and studies within online learning environment. Before we started this research, we had studied similar works in the field published recently in English all over the world. many of them focusing on technical characteristics of online platforms and the possibilities they offer to their users. For instance, different types of online learning platforms have been named, identified, and characterized. Other researchers have categorized varieties of online platforms into two groups: interactive and non-interactive. Further, interactive platforms can be asynchronous and synchronous and combined with any non-interactive platform, hybrid. Knowledge-based and online support platforms are typical examples of non-interactive online platforms.
Our study investigates the technical features of free platforms of e-learning, bought or designed by universities in two different countries, but also compare various approaches and common mistakes while adopting online learning. The universities are University Vanvitelli in Italy, Pyatigorsk State University, Russia, Dubna State University, Russia. You can see them in the slide. We don't pretend on pervasiveness in this research, as we base on pieces of practical teaching and learning experience and compare free platforms only, while ignoring other similar widespread technologies. Nevertheless, every experience of this kind requires careful and detailed analysis, which fine aim is to provide recommendation to all of the participants of the process of e-learning. There are free platforms for e-learning in the table. The information was structured by next criteria: university and country that use the platforms, time consumed to adopt e-learning, mode of acquisition. As you can see, for example, EduPaGo is a priority design of Pyatigorsk State University, so they needed only a couple of days to establish seamless internet connection. To collect the data, they used interview and consultation with teachers, students, and experts in IT technologies and online education of these universities. We asked the experts to evaluate the platform function and characteristics from the technical point of view, and then asked the users to share their experience during the pandemic. Some of the questions to the teachers and students are presented in the slide. In the course of the research, a comparative analysis of free educational online platforms was made: Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, EduPaGo. We have focused on three main features of the platforms, such as price, facilities and technical specification, and restriction. We suppose these criteria are sufficient to estimate efficiency of the platforms. For the facilities, we have chosen the next sub-specification to consider for successful teaching. Possible to make an online transmission and to record it. Possible to download additional files and to create and check tests. Possibility to share your screen. Finally, as the two-way communication is too crucial important for your learning. We have checked the possibility to send message and to use online chats within the system. We have compared the platforms using following criteria: online transmission, download additional file, record online transmission, create and check tests, share your screen, online chat with teachers and other students, operating system support, number of participants for online events, synchronous or asynchronous learning. The results are presented in the slide. We concluded that all the platforms have their own advantages and drawbacks. Now we are going to give more detail on the platform's characteristics.
In these slides, you will see the platform interfaces that illustrate their capacities. The first one is Microsoft Teams, used by Italian University Luigi Vanvitelli. You can see the student's profile and the list of the courses to follow. The next slide. In this slide, you can see one of the courses page. The chat is used by both students and teachers. During the lessons, students can switch on and off their cameras and microphones. The video can be recorded as well. You can see the platform to share materials and tasks, but you cannot make tests within the system. In this slide, you can see examples of tasks in Edu PGU. The teacher shares the task and can also make deadlines for submissions. The task will not be available after the date specified. Students can add answers in the special form within the system or share files within 50 MB. The teacher chooses the answer form as well, then checks the answers and gives votes and comments. It is possible to give access to the tasks one more time to correct them. You cannot use the platform for synchronous courses. There is no chat, so the tests and the exercises are the main part of the content. It is possible to share pre-recorded videos and other materials for self-study. Once shared, they remain available if the whole course is available. Students can follow deadlines in the calendar and check their results and dynamics.
In this slide, you can see the third platform, Google Meet, used by another Russian university, Dubna. Users can switch on and off their cameras and microphones. There is a chat for interactive communication between students and teachers. There is no opportunity to share file in a section apart, only in the chat. There is no opportunity to make tests within the system. The video can be recorded. E-learning is comfortable, mobile, and economically variable, but at the moment cannot be considered as a full alternative to the traditional teaching forms. For full and safety adoption of online learning, the next aspect should be worked out. Legal aspect of provision and charge of personal data, ways to identification students, control over real attendance, achievement tests, teachers trained to work with online platforms, students trained to autonomous work. It is critically needed to resolve these problems for full adoption of a new form of learning. The criteria listed above should be satisfied with joint effort of government institutions, academic staff, and students.
Proceeding from this research, the list of functions for online platforms was prepared to make them comfortable for students and teachers. The list below may be useful for universities that want to buy or design a platform. Check this list of recommended services for educational online platforms. Online meeting planning with a reminder or calendar. Online meetings. Online meeting recorder. Download pre-prepared video lectures and events. Share files on the platform, texts, table editors, presentations. Different forms of assessments, such as tests, detailed answer, with a number of efforts and passing scores programmed. Opportunity to use platforms with personal computers, smartphones, and finally, relatively low device bar for personal computers and smartphones. We can also offer the following recommendations for universities that want to adopt e-learning system. Before you start using the platform, please make sure that the academic staff has followed refresher courses during which they learn to work effectively with the platform. Courses and materials offered by the platform should be used as additional information for refresher courses organized by universities. Please make sure that you have prepared simple and available courses on provisions of the law in the field of processing personal information. It is extremely important to show the work of these laws in practice with regard to the online platform. Thank you for your attention. We finished, and we would like to thank you for the opportunity to participate in your conference.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much.